The information overload right now is real, and more information is dropping tomorrow. So let's talk about these artifacts. What's going on, guys? It's your boy CBS back with another Destiny video. So in the Game Informer information drop, that was like 16 pages of information overload that happened the other day. There was so much information that came out, and at first I was going to cover everything, but everything was we already kind of knew a lot of this stuff. We knew the raid was coming, we knew a lot of this other stuff, but the most important information to come out of that, in my opinion, were the game-changing and possibly game-breaking changes to the artifact system. They showed us 8 new artifacts that are confirmed, and they hinted at 2 more. They all range in variation, but a lot of these artifacts negate the need for exotics at all. I'm going to break them down from least exciting to most exciting, as well as my thoughts on the artifacts and what they're going to be useful for. Each artifact will be timestamped in the description, so if you want to skip ahead, feel free to click the timestamp of your choice and leave a like on your way down there. Of course, I want you to tell me what you think in the comments. What's your favorite, what's the worst, etc. So to start off, they have confirmed that these artifacts will be legendaries, but that does not rule out the possibility of exotic artifacts in the future. To start in order from worst to first, we have Memory of Gheleon Artifact, enhanced radar and constant radar during primary weapon use. This perk seems a little weak to me. Yes, the enhanced radar and constant third eye will be very useful, but in my comparison to some of the other artifacts, it just doesn't stack up in my opinion. It could be useful in PvP events where melee enemies spawn randomly and you're focused in on DPS and a large target, but in PvP, I just don't see the point in that when there's better perks out there as far as artifacts go. Next up, we have the Memory of Perun Artifact. Guardians with full super energy are highlighted yellow, and all enemies with low health are highlighted red for easy targeting. This seems like a bit of a waste for me when you can already tell if an enemy has a super just by looking at the glow of their level. Like if, right now we're level 40. If you look at their name, it'll glow a yellow already if they have a super, and it won't if they don't have a super. So unless they remove that ability, I probably won't use it. But it could be great for solo players that need like help team shooting or want to learn how to team shoot better. It could be helpful. So it might make solo queuing 6v6 a little bit more fun because you know that follow-up shots will be more consistent. Next up, we have the Memory of Silimar Artifact, ability to reduce any damage over time effect, especially since the infamous Thorn is returning to year 3. This seems like the only way Bungie could get away with bringing back the Thorn. A lot of times in the community, people get upset when something is overpowered and there's no way to counter it. This will help with the annoyance of Thorn, as well as those pesky fireball grenades and smoke grenades from hunters and things like that. And obviously there's going to be situational needs for it in PvE. Next up, we have the Memory of Timur Artifact. This artifact gives you the ability to turn low power enemies of darkness into allies by meleeing them. They fight by your side, it expires after 30 seconds, or after a second melee. This sounds like more of a fun artifact to play around with, but nothing that I would main. It is limited to PvP, so that will definitely make it probably the least used artifact in Rise of Iron. After that, we have the Memory of Radegast Artifact. The ability for swords, it adds an ability to swords letting you reflect energy-based projectiles, including Ogre Blast and incoming Crucible Rockets. Again, this is a very situational artifact. This is going to be something that you only equip during heavy round and trials, or 30 seconds before heavy spawns. The only time you may main this would be in Mayhem for Crucible. In PvP, I'm not sure how many honest uses they're going to be for this. If I were going to choose for a PvP artifact, I would probably go with the Skorri Artifact. Next up, we're going to have the Memory of Jolder Artifact. Ability to completely eliminate sprint cooldown, allowing Guardians to ceaselessly, did I say that right? Ceaselessly charge ahead. Eliminating sprint is an awesome feature. A lot of times in trials or any competitive PvP environment, getting to a spot first or being able to adjust quickly can be the difference between winning and losing. So this is an awesome new ability. There's going to be a lot of uses for this. A lot of sweats are going to use this. A lot of people trying to get better are going to use this. More than likely, if they do decide to confirm custom games, because they're still hinting at some secrets, more than likely they'll probably ban this, just to kind of level the playing field. Just, you know, there's things that, you know, in every competitive environment they always ban certain things, and I'm more than likely they'll probably ban this as well. Next up, they got the Skorri Artifact. Speeds up super recharge rate for all nearby enemies. This artifact is a tough one to say. It's very dependent on how strong this effect is going to be. If it's too strong, it could break the game. If it's too weak, it could be useless and nobody will use it. If it stacks, if it stacks too strong, sorry. I don't know if it's going to stack, but if it does stack and it's too strong, that would definitely break the game. Can you imagine like 6 Titan hammers running around, all charging their supers up for each other? It would be a freaking nightmare. Holy crap. And after that, the 8th and final confirmed new artifact, and probably my favorite, is the Memory of Felwinter Artifact. Lose your super, but gain an additional grenade and melee, and boost all your stats, and orbs recharge your grenades and abilities. Now, this is awesome and by far the best of all 8. I'm a Night Stalker main by choice, and I very rarely use my super in the Crucible just because it's ineffective in a lot of situations. It's good, but it's just ineffective in certain situations. And a lot of times I find myself only using it because I have it. This perk right here is going to allow me to focus on my gunplay and my evading play. And with the boost to my stats, it'll allow me to be focused more on killing and not get that feeling of like I'm wasting my tether by just staying supercharged the whole time. Now the same thing goes for Warlock Sunsingers or Titans as well. In 6v6, a lot of times a Sunsinger is a waste for that revive in 6v6, when you can honestly boost all your stats and have 2 grenades and 2 melees guaranteed without having to wear an exotic. That'll definitely make it way more useful. Again, in the PvP side, they'll probably ban this just because to me it could be overpowered, but this is something that the community has been begging for. No supers is something that, if they do confirm custom games, this will definitely be something that either people will already build into the custom match, or will be a requirement. No supers at all, because a lot of times supers seem like they shift the game. Like in trials, the last, you know, let's say rounds 3 and on are like toss-ups, because if you get heavy, or if you play heavy right, that's a round, and then you have supers that stack on top of each other, that can just shift an entire game, taking away from the importance of gunplay. So no supers is something that my crew of players have been begging for. The community in general has been begging for no super. So I would have liked to see a no super game mode, but now with the Felwinter Artifact, it's going to make it easier for people to queue up and make their own no super game mode. So that's going to be fun. So those are the 8 confirmed artifacts and their new abilities. They hinted at 2 more for Saladin and Ephraim, but I'm sure those will unlock eventually. They said that we're going to unlock these 8 artifacts over an 8-week span, probably similar to how in Court of Orcs we had a new boss every week. But in the Plaguelands, they're going to have their own version of the Court of Orcs called the Archon Forge. So again, I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. If you're still here, go ahead and comment something like hashtag Team CBS if you don't have anything to say. As always, be safe. Subscribe if you're new. Tell your mother to call me. And I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.
What are you waiting for? Do it! Yes, you can!